Hey, this is Abhiram and welcome back to my channel. This is the third video in the set of interest calculation video series, and this is also a member exclusive video that I'm posting on for my super members of this channel. In this video, we are going to see how we can calculate interest on the term loans that the company takes from the banks, and we will also try to make the scenario more complex by exploring many options that are available in the configuration. I hope you have already watched my previous two videos in this series. If not, please do it. The links are available in and also do not forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done it yet. And remember, you can also now join my channel and contribute to create many such wonderful videos and also get access to the member exclusive content by becoming a super member. So do not wait, just click on the join button. Let's get further. As we have seen earlier, the primary key for calculating the interest is the interest indicator. For the item interest, we give the interest indicator in the vendor or the customer master data, which is the business partner. But whereas in this case, we want to calculate interest on the loan that the company has taken from the bank. So for this, the interest indicator is given in the GL account master data as we can see. Let us see how this interest calculation works. We have a GL account which we just saw. It is for the term loan, and we are going to post an incoming loan on this GL account. So let us take the posting date as 1st of Jan, and let us give this GL account, the loan account. We are going to credit the loan account by 1000, and we are going to debit our bank account by the same amount. Let us save this document. Now this document is posted. Now let us see the balance in the loan account. Total balance is 1000. So the company is liable to pay 1000 pounds to the bank for the loan that it had taken from the bank. Now let us run an interest calculation. Earlier we saw that we will use the transaction FINT for calculating the item interest on the customers, or FINT AP for vendors. But here, as we are trying to calculate interest on the total balance of a GL account, the transaction is F.52. Now let us give the chart of accounts, the GL account. This is the loan account, and we are going to run interest calculation on the loan account at the month end. So the calculation period will be from the 1st of Jan till 31st of Jan. This is the last date interest run, which will be updated in the GL master. So let us take it as today's date, or 31/01/2022. Here, if you enable this checkbox, post interest settlements, only then the interest will be posted. If not, it will just calculate the interest and it will show us as now. Let us enable additional log and let us execute. So this is the additional log. This is whatever the system is checking, the various checks or validations that are performed as a process of calculating the interest. And let us scroll to the bottom. And here we can see that this particular GL account has been picked up and the interest is calculated as 8.49 pounds. So this amount is the interest that is calculated for the 1000 pounds of credit balance that is present on this bank account or the loan account, and the interest that we need to pay as per 10% of the interest, which is maintained in the configurations. So this is how the interest is calculated, and now if we enable the settlement here, the document will get posted. So let us enable post interest settlements and execute. If you see here, the interest is calculated as 8.49. The batch session has been created. So let us try to execute this session. Let us go to SM35, and this is the session, and let us process this. Let us do it in the foreground. Okay. Now let us see the open items, or the postings that have happened on this loan account. And if we see here, for this 1000 of the credit, which is the loan that is available on this account, we are having an interest posted of 8.49 GBP, and now the total balance of this loan account is inclusive of the principal amount as well as the interest amount. So this is how the calculation of interest for the loan or the balances of GL items work. Now let us jump into the configuration. Under SPRO, under Financial Accounting, AR&EP, Business Transactions, here we're going to the interest calculation. The configuration looks pretty much similar to what we have done earlier for the debit interest, which we have calculated for the customer, with slight differences. Now let us create a interest indicator. Let us take it as C1 because this time we are calculating interest for the credit balance that is available on a GL account. So we will give it as credit interest indicator. And what is the calculation type? Here we are going to do it as balance interest calculation. That means The interest is calculated on the total balance of the account rather than for an individual item. Save it. The next one is to prepare account balance interest calculation. New entries. For C1, we are going to define various parameters on how the interest is to be calculated. The calculation frequency, let us give it as 1 month, and the settlement day is the date on which the interest is to be posted. So now let us give it as 31. That means it will be posted on the last date of that particular month. Calendar type, this is similar to what we have seen in the earlier configurations. Let us take it as G. The month end indicator here defines that every month the total number of days will always be 30, irrespective of the month, whether it is January or February. The number of days in a particular month will always be equal to 30. This is mostly used for Chinese calendar. So if we are doing this configuration for a client which is having such kind of a calendar year, then in that case we are going to enable month end indicator, which will make the number of days in every month equal to 30. Interest calculation numerators are, instead of direct calculating the interest, it will be using interest calculation numerators. And this will round off the numerator values that we are getting. Now the interest rates are dependent on the total amount. This indicator is useful when you are having a slab based interest. For example, 0 to 5,000 if you want the interest rate to be 5%, and from 5,000 to 10,000 if you want the interest rate to be 15%. Now if we enable this checkbox, if the total amount open on that particular GL item or the total balance of that GL account is 15,000 or more than 15,000, then the interest is calculated for the total amount at 15% only. Whereas if we do not enable this checkbox, then the amount is split into different slabs that we have configured. And as per that, for example, from 0 to 10,000, the interest is calculated at the rate of 10%, and 10,000 to 15,000, it is calculated at 15%. And we can also add our own logic by developing a function module, and we need to give the reference of that function module here. The amount limit is same as what we have seen, but in this case now, let us say that the amount limit here is 100. So unless until the interest that is calculated is more than 100 pounds, we are not going to post any interest. And no interest payment is something that we are telling the system that even after calculation of interest, we are not going to post it, but we want it, so leave it. This is for the form printout, and this is for the payment terms. So let us give it as a standard payment terms and save it. Now let us go to the interest calculations, and let us define the reference interest rate. The validity, let us give it as 01 and 01, which is 1st of Jan. Save it. The reference rate value for whatever the reference interest rate that we have just now defined, we are going to give the reference interest rate. It is C1 referent, valid from, and let us give the interest rate as 10%. Save it. Time dependent interest terms. What is the interest indicator? It is C1, and for GBP, effective from. And this is where, as we have discussed in the previous videos, the sequential number is used when you want to have different slabs for calculating interest rates based on the amount. We are not using this at this point. And the term defines what type of an interest it is. In this case, we want credit interest on the balance interest calculation. The reference rate is C1 referent, and no surcharge and no amount from. Save it. Now let us go to the postings. For the GL account determination, let us go to the transaction OBV2. Let us create a new entry. The business transaction here will be 2000, which is the interest paid posting, the company code. The interest indicator is C1, and the business area, let us give it as plus, which is a wildcard entry. What would be the posting here? The first will be we are going to debit the interest paid account. The account symbol for the interest paid is 0002, and we are going to credit the loan account. Or in this case, we are going to take the account symbol as the GL account paid. That means the one which we need to pay. Now, let us open another transaction and let us go to our GL accounts. Let us create a new loan account. Let us make a copy of the existing one. Save it. In this GL account, we need to mention the interest indicator here. So let us go to the create bank interest, and here we're having the interest indicator as C1 and save it. Also, we are having another account for the interest that we have paid, which is an expense, and let us take it as E0015. Now let us go to the accounts. Under this chart of accounts, for 002 we are having E0015, yes, and for 2000 we are giving it as a masked entry, so that for whatever account the interest calculation is run, that account will be credited. Now let us save this. So this is the configuration that we have done. Now let us post a credit item onto this loan account. Let us go to FB50. Our loan account is L0004. Let us credit this by 1000. And let us debit our bank account. The document is posted. Now let us execute F.52 for calculating the interest for the period of February. Now I'm executing this in the test mode. So if we go to the bottom, here we see that the interest has been calculated as 7.67 pounds, but it is not posting because it says that the minimum or the maximum amount, which is the 100 pounds, which we gave in the configuration, is more than the interest amount calculated, which is 7.67. So yes, our configurations are working perfectly. So now let us do one thing. Let us go back to the configurations and let us change this minimum amount. SPRO F5. Under financial accounting, accounts receivables and payables, business transactions, interest calculations, and let us go to the account balance interest calculation. C1 is our interest indicator, and here we are going to remove this amount and let us save it. Now let us execute the interest run. And here now it is not giving any such message. The interest, which is calculated as 7.67 for the month of February, which is for 28 days, is now calculated successfully. Now let us also enable post-interest settlements. And here we will also update the master record, which means the last interest calculation date will also be updated in the GL master record for the account for which we are running the interest. Now this is the session. We can also change the batch session name. For example, I can give it as something else and execute. Now the interest is calculated. Let us go to SM35 and execute this session. Execute in the background. The batch job has been processed. Now let us go to the GL account items and display all the items that have been posted. We can see that 7.67, which is the credit interest calculated, has been posted on this account. So now the total balance of this GL account or the loan account is also having the interest that is calculated for the month of February. If you see the overview, the loan interest paid account, which is E0015, has been debited and this loan account is credited, which is very much same as the configurations that we have. So this is all about calculating interest for the GL account balances. I hope you have liked it. So do not forget to like and share this video, and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't done it already. Also, now you can contribute to my channel for making many such videos by clicking on the join button and becoming a super member. You will also get access to the member exclusive content like this video. See you in the next video, and until then, stay safe.